Need some suspension work and shocks and brakes, brake pads, lining, steering box, transmission, rear end.
Ka-chow.
Just don't see no cars! It works! I love this button!
Always remember, if you ain't first, you're last.
106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
All right, welcome back to the Unnamed Movie Car Podcast, recording at you live from Johannesburg, South Africa. Johannesburg. Can you not pronounce it?
Why can't I
Wait, say it.
Johannesburg?
There you go. You got it. Because we watched the film Vehicle 19, starring Paul Walker.
As we all know, the brilliant Vehicle 19.
Vehicle 19. So before we get into anything, we always wait 10 minutes before we really talk about the film itself, just in case you decide you do want to watch it. And we avoid spoilers.
Avoid spoilers, and you'll hear this when we're about to give you spoilers. That's our Ecto 1 siren. So, yes, we're all good to go. Yeah.
So, yeah, we have a little bit of a pre-show before the 10
of,
minutes.
A little bit.
And we'll share the story once we get into the movie itself.
Oh, really? You wanted...
I
thought we'd share the story first because of pre-thing. Plus, I have something fun because...
Okay. Does this feed into...
It literally feeds into it and feeds us at the same time.
Oh, wow, okay.
So, I have...
Oh, wow, the ASMR is...
I have a bag of goodies. So... In this movie, this is not a spoiler alert, but in this movie, Paul Walker is in a strange land for his character. He doesn't know what's going on. So he's just got off the plane, literally, and he's hungry, and so he buys these goodies. So what I did was he buys like biscuits or something. You see him eating biscuits. And the thing is that you have no idea what these biscuits are. You have no idea what they are. So what I did is at the store, I bought 2 different bags of biscuits-like things.
Well, biscuits, I believe, is like cookies for them. No? Yes? At least in the UK,
it is, yeah.
Which I assume because South Africa was colonized by the UK. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, no, it's probably correct, yeah. So I'm just saying that. So I went and got these. So one of them is... Now, I know that this is Spanish, and I think it's actually from Mexico. And it is barritas.
Barritas.
Barritas, fresa, which I think it means, I don't know, fresh
barritas
or Spanish
fresa?
or I don't know, whatever. Okay. And then it's strawberry-filled cookies. So I thought we'd split that.
Yeah.
We did try one. And then this one is Choco Rolls. I believe you pronounce that Choco Rolls.
That one's pretty straightforward. That's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, but this one is actually pineapple cream-filled cakes.
Oh, and pineapple. Interesting. Okay.
It looks like a ho-ho, but it's pineapple-filled. So anyway, I thought we would give these a shot just so we kind of get in the idea of the...
While you open those and stuff, I'll share the story of... Oh, yeah. I'm sure listeners are going to hate this. Oh, just throw it at me. Okay.
What do you want me to do?
I don't know.
Right, so you're going to...
Okay, so for the viewers listeners, we don't have viewers. We don't have video. It looks like a flattened hot dog.
Yeah, it does. It looks exactly like a flattened hot dog.
Yeah, I mean, it's jelly in the middle, but it's like 3 stripes, and this is good till May 12th of this year.
Okay, then
we got a little bit of time.
Yeah.
I feel like for these heavily processed things, it's usually like December 30th, 2064 is... Yeah. And that's for the plastic. That's not even for the food inside.
Oh, there's 2 in each of these, so we each get 2 cookies. So that's delicious.
So we could get into these now. If you want.
We should try these out. But Paul Walker eats these crazy. It's something in a container, or it looks like a candy bar, but it's not a candy bar.
I'm really struggling over here.
Well, no, that's all right. I'll talk a little bit. So we're eating the strawberry ones first, I guess. Well, that's an interesting flavor.
This was dumb to do without water.
You're right. We may have to stop to get water.
These are really dry.
They are dry.
Wow.
Do you want to stop to get water?
No, it's okay. I'm just going to have a bite.
I think that we're going to eat them, pause, and come back after we've eaten them because this is really rude to do to people.
Yeah. We'll pause. We'll pause.
All right. So we're going to eat the cookies and
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Okay. And through the magic of editing and being able to stop a machine, we've now eaten.
So the flat hot dog looking one was very dry, but it was sweet. Strawberry.
Yeah, it was fine. It was like a shortbread cookie.
Yeah.
With strawberry on it. It was very good.
The other one tasted like a ho-ho that was sprayed with lemon pledge.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that's what it tasted like.
If you at home accidentally sprayed,
yeah,
and don't do it, but with lemon pledge, you around
if you're cleaning your tabletop and have a plate of ho-hos out, and you're like, that would be too long to move the ho-hos,
right?
Then that's what your guests are going to be tasting.
That's exactly.
It was pineapple, which was weird
pineapple,
in a ho-ho.
But it was pretty good.
Yeah,
besides that, it was okay.
I appreciate the treats.
Like you said, at the end of the day, chocolate is chocolate.
Chocolate is chocolate.
So, I don't think
we had to pause for extra long because the first one was so dry. We had to both go get water.
We both did. So, of course, out there you don't really feel anything. But
there you
go. Making sure.
So thank you for the treats for the biscuits.
We think about our listeners all the time.
And,
you're welcome.
And as we think of you, we're like, yeah, they'll definitely want to hear all this chewing into the microphone.
Yeah, they'll definitely want to hear every lip smack, every crinkle, everything. Yeah.
And so for our audio listeners, we're going to show pictures and just
we're just going to describe pictures.
And then we're going to interview a snoring man because we really understand the full art of audio.
Right. We're bringing this to you in stereo.
So
anyway,
we do have the story of how we found this movie.
Which is, I think, a great story for people that don't know.
So we found this movie at the dollar store.
Yeah.
Here, locally, they're known as Dollar Trees.
Family Dollar, Dollar Tree.
Family Dollar, Dollar General.
Yep. Where now everything's $1.25.
Yeah, which since we purchased this, they've upped their prices in December of 2021.
Yep.
To $1.25 now, which is unreal.
I know, which is crazy. Wow.
But my girlfriend lives out of state, and so I was at the dollar store, and this is like several hours away from home, and we go to the dollar store every once in a while to get our groceries and whatnot, and I saw this movie, Vehicle 19, and I was like, oh. Like, that's great for the podcast.
Right.
And I told my girlfriend, I was like, oh, I got to get this for the podcast.
Yeah.
And so I bring it home, and I have this terrible habit of whenever I clean out my Mazda 3, I just put everything that's in the trunk of the Mazda 3 into my Mazda RX-7.
Oh, well,
because the RX-7
go,
is away for winter. So it's basically just a storage unit right now.
It is.
Literally, the wheels of my Mazda 3 are inside my RX-7.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
And so this was like weeks later. I'm talking with you in the kitchen.
Yes.
And I casually brought up the fact that last time I was with my girlfriend, I saw a movie at the dollar store. And you said...
And I said, yeah, I did too. I saw a movie at the dollar store that I bought.
And I bought it too. And it has a famous actor in it.
And I said, is that actor Paul Walker?
And I said, yup. And we laughed so hard. I ran out into the garage, popped the trunk of my RX-7. Yeah.
We just basically.
I brought it in, and we had a good laugh because we both bought this movie.
Exactly the same one, at different
hours apart from each other. Yes. Exact same movie.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we have 2 copies. The first time we've ever had 2 copies of the film.
Yeah, that is exactly correct. We have 2 copies. Thank goodness.
Yeah, unbeknownst. Well, I was thinking because I watched it just before we started filming. You watched this last night.
I did.
I had to find my box cutter and open up the plastic on the DVD.
Yes, that's right.
And I was like, it's probably easier to just go downstairs and grab the other copy. But so maybe we'll do a giveaway on our 50th.
We could.
Because this is episode 45.
I believe it is.
Maybe we could do our 50th episode giveaway. We'll sign the copy. We'll George Barris it. And we'll sign a movie we have nothing to do with.
George Barris. In case you don't know, George Ferris is a very famous...
George Barris. You
George
said Ferris.
Barris.
George Barris.
Your Honor, I said George Barris. No, so George Barris, right?
Yes.
George Barris is a very famous car. I wouldn't say car creator, but car builder.
Like car designer. He
car designer.
built the Batmobile.
He built the Batmobile in 1966, the most iconic.
Yeah,
I think
he built a dragster that's built out of a coffin, or looks like a giant coffin.
Exactly,
he built, I think for the Rolling Stones or something, he built a guitar car.
Yeah,
it's
probably.
a car that
Makes
is
sense.
a giant guitar.
Makes sense. So George Barris which is he's very well known. Especially there's a museum in Volo called Volo. And
the Volo Auto Museum.
Volo Auto Museum. Shout out to them. Shout out to Paul Shin.
Shout out to Paul Shin and Craig Lieberman.
By the way, So shout out to Volo, and they have the Batmobile there. And George Barris signed the Batmobile, which makes sense.
100%.
He also signed lots of other cars that had nothing to do with him.
I have to imagine, and I believe George Barris has passed.
Probably, yeah.
But I believe in the later years of his life, it seems as though they just gave him a silver Sharpie.
Yeah.
And it was just like any... I have to imagine he was like out in the parking lot and someone was like, we got to go get George.
Yeah.
He's signing Ford Focuses out there, like, and Kia Fortes. Like, get him in! Get him in!
Exactly.
George, no.
Yeah, he was like signing anything, so that was...
So at this museum, he signed a bunch of cars that he had no job.
Yeah, so we might actually...
George Barris,
a copy...
Yeah.
Completely autographed by Zach and myself.
And you get to choose
Vehicle 19.
if we send you my copy or your copy.
Exactly.
You can request.
You choose. See, that's how much we appreciate our listeners.
If you want it, that was ran through our basement DVD player,
or
through my probably 8 or 9-year-old Xbox One.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
my 10-year-old Xbox.
All right. And now...
We'll get into spoilers
it's time
now.
for spoiler alerts. That is our spoiler alert. That's the Ecto 1 siren, and that means that we're about to share things.
Yeah, so from this point on, we are going to spoil parts of the movie. So
we're going to spoil the heck out of this movie. So
what did you think of Vehicle 19?
Wow. Okay, let me tell you first. I fell asleep twice.
Wow.
So during this movie, I fell asleep twice, and actually when I woke up, I had to reverse it.
Jeez.
And actually get to the part where I remembered that I fell asleep.
Yeah.
And not only that, I actually dreamt about the movie and added things. I added things in the movie that didn't exist, that were in my dreams. And after I got up and I went, wait a minute, why did he go visit a gym? Why was he looking?
So you're just adding parts to the movie. That's not fair. You're George Barrising the movie.
That's exactly what happened. So I fell asleep twice. Anyway, so... My take on this is, wow, this was a hard one to watch. I didn't find it entertaining. I didn't like it. I really didn't like it. A lot of things. There's a lot. But what did you think?
I liked it.
You did.
I liked it. Here's the thing. Right. There were definitely parts where the execution was rather poor. Yes. And there's some things that we'll get into. I have notes.
Good. Because I don't. I have no notes whatsoever.
I liked it.
You liked it. Great. I mean, that's wonderful.
Well, in the frame of mind that this was a dollar store movie.
Yeah, true. Okay.
B, a movie we had never even heard of. Like, it's one thing if you find, like, Ghostbusters at the dollar store.
Right.
That's made its run.
Yes.
Everyone knows it. But this was like a movie I'd never even heard of.
Right. Yes.
And it had been out for 7 or 8 years by the time we purchased it.
Yes, that is
8
true.
years.
That is true.
With that frame of mind that this was a $1.07 mine video or movie.
I can give you that. I
think. Well, think of the other movies we've watched. Think of Blood Car.
Yeah.
Think of Poker Run. Right?
Okay. All right. Yes.
I mean, in that frame of mind.
Yes.
Is this Ford versus Ferrari? No. But I actually enjoyed this movie.
No. That's great. I'm so glad that you liked the movie. I didn't.
Yeah.
I really did not like this movie. I didn't. I'm sorry. I just absolutely did not.
Do we
want to
get into my notes? I have my notes.
Yeah, we can absolutely do that.
Phone.
And I'll go on my little rants and things. So this does happen where you like the movie, I don't like the movie or whatever.
Here's the thing. I'm also not head over heels for it. I'm not in love. I don't have a Vehicle 19 t-shirt. But
let me just say at the end, I'll tell you. Well, anyway, we'll talk about it later. But you don't have a Vehicle 19 T-shirt. Yeah, you don't have it's. Not,
yeah, like I said, I'm gonna spoil the end. Probably won't watch this one again.
Okay,
but
yes,
I did like it. First of all, right in the beginning, so let's give a quick rundown of the plot real quick.
Yes, that's a good idea. That's a very good idea.
Because there are people, I think, that listen that have no intention of listening to the movie or watching the movie.
And they may never, because I don't know where you can find it besides the dollar store.
Apparently Amazon. Apparently.
Oh, really? Okay.
Amazon. We just happen to find it on the dollar store.
Okay.
So basically, guy flies in from Johannesburg.
to Johannesburg.
Sorry.
Josanna. See, you can't say it either.
So he flies into Joanne Fabrics, and it's the same thing. Joanne Fabrics. And so he flies in from America. He's like a fugitive.
Yeah, evidently.
He's breaking his parole to fly to Johannesburg.
Well, definitely
for his
because
wife.
you find out that he doesn't, his pardon or whatever. No, he doesn't get a pardon. Whatever, he wanted to get out of prison. They said no, it was declined. It was
right.
Yeah. Whatever.
So he flies into South Africa. He gets a rental car from Hertz Rental Car. Did you notice that?
I noticed that too.
Especially, I don't know if that's good for.
Well, especially the end.
Yeah.
When they had the Hertz, sign on top of it. I didn't know it was Hertz until the very end.
Oh, I saw it when he gets in the car originally.
Oh,
like
really?
The little piece of paper said Hertz. It's very small.
Oh,
and I didn't know
saw
if
it
that
at
was
the end.
intentional or not.
I'm surprised that Hertz
this movie could have gone with a fake rental car name.
100%.
Yeah. I don't know why they
Schmertz.
used a real literally anything. Rent a car. Like
right,
wait.
Exactly. Or
no, it's budget rent a car.
So
rent a car is just like a whatever. Paul Walker flies into South Africa and he rents a minivan. Which he was supposed to get another car, but he gets a minivan, whatever. He starts driving, he finds a gun and a cell phone in the car, and he's like, what the heck? And then something happens and the rear seat comes down.
Yes.
And there's a girl tied up in his trunk.
Yeah, she's alive.
She's alive. And so basically find out that this lady who was tied up was kidnapped. He got into the wrong rental car.
Yes.
And she knows that there's a sex trafficking ring.
Yes.
Run by the police chief.
Yes.
And they want her dead.
Right.
And basically
she's like the district attorney, basically.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
So that's basically the plot of the movie.
Yeah. And he's trying to, basically, he does help her out.
Right.
So
he ends up helping her out.
Yeah.
But that's
the gist of the movie.
Yeah. So getting into my notes now.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny because he like freaks out driving right-hand drive at first.
Yes, he does.
Which is fair.
Absolutely.
But also in Too Fast, Too Furious, he drove the right-hand drive Skyline for like the whole movie.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of funny where he was like, he was like, oh, right-hand drive is so weird. It's like, dude, you're in another movie with like tons of right-hand drive. Like,
Paul, what's wrong? What's the problem, Paul?
Here? This does not paint South Africa in a good light.
Oh my gosh, no way.
This looks like a crime-ridden hellhole.
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
I am a firm believer in the fact that I don't think Johannesburg is like that. I don't think South Africa is as
I don't know.
I mean, this was like third world country.
It was hugely third world country.
And I've never been to South Africa. I can't.
Me either.
I don't know. But I just have to feel like this was painting it in a dark light.
It was absolutely horrible light. Like what it did was it made every single person that this guy came across a criminal. Like every single person was a criminal.
Every single person.
Kids
he got held up at the knife. The kid stole at a different point.
Yeah.
Kid stole
sunglasses.
Yeah, kid stole his sunglasses, asking him if he needs a cell phone while the other kid stole stuff.
Right.
He gets held at knife point.
Yes.
He goes and gets the van painted.
Yep.
And it's in this dark, dingy. There's a couple times
that whole thing was weird too, but go ahead.
Where he drives by, literally garbage cans on fire, like the whole nine.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah. Absolutely every single scene of him driving through Johannesburg was like, there are criminals at every stop, at every place. Like every single person. Doesn't matter if you're a kid, an old person.
Yeah.
You're a criminal.
Yeah.
That's what this movie said to me.
And so if I lived in Johannesburg, I'd be pissed.
Oh, I would be too. I would be so angry. I mean, I would absolutely be angry at this movie. And it was one of the reasons why I didn't like the movie. But go ahead.
That's fair. That's totally fair. Oh, okay. So this is when the girl is dying. So spoiler alert, she gets shot.
She does.
And she actually does die, which is like
she does.
Kind of a twist, which I was not fully anticipating.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, you're right, because I wasn't sure. I thought it was funny that you say that, because I thought they're going to pull the old, well, we got to get the bullet out of the wound, we got to get the bullet. No, she
just died in the rental car.
Yeah, she just said, I'm not going to make it. Too much blood loss. You can't take me to hospital because they're after me.
Which will come, I guess to spoil it, at the very end of the movie, you see the van, which the whole movie is spent in. You see the van getting put back on the rental car lot.
Yes.
And you see them put a seat cover over her blood stain.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, man. Because I just rented a car down in Florida with seat covers, and I was like, oh.
Well, obviously it was a new windshield because that all got blown apart.
And they removed all of the red paint somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll get to that in a second.
Exactly.
But when she's dying,
yes,
I thought it was very uncalled for. Paul Walker's character, Michael Wood?
I think it was, Michael.
He just kept saying, "Don't die. I can't get blamed for this."
Yeah.
The whole time he's like,
Yeah.
"Please don't die." Not because you're a human and you deserve to live, but he's just like, "I'm gonna get blamed if you die, so please don't die."
and basically he was saying, "Don't put this on me.
Yeah.
This is not on me."
Yeah.
Because she's basically. So what happens is she asks him to pull out his phone so that she can record her testimony to whoever he can get to, because she has evidence on the police chief about this what was it, sex trafficking and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So she then has him, because he's the witness that and record it as the witness. So he has the recording of her telling all of the evidence that she has against this guy. And so that was important to do. But you're right. I didn't think that she was actually going to die. I thought somehow like she'd be at the hospital and then she would, do stuff. I don't know.
My point being is the fact that like it didn't make me like Paul Walker's character anymore, because he was like, "Don't put this on me. This isn't my fault." What?
I just found my Diet Coke.
Oh, really? From when?
From yesterday.
Oh, well, that's good.
No, it wasn't too long ago.
He literally leaned over and there's a Diet Coke next to him.
That is how pristine our studio is.
Yeah, our
here
$151 million
in Johannesburg studio. Is that I lean over and there's an old Coke sitting on a paint can.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Well,
anyway,
apparently we actually are in Johannesburg, according to this movie. Is there a burning trash can behind you?
Yeah, it is.
Are you getting held up at knife point everywhere you
go? It is. Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know. That whole scene was kind of cringy to me.
It was, definitely.
Because he's like, "Don't put this on me. This isn't my fault."
Right.
And it's like,
She's
hey,
dying.
dude, you've been shot at twice now.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Wow.
And actually, it was his fault, though, because he went to go get his... What is it his wife, his girlfriend?
I think it's his wife.
Okay. His wife, for some unknown reason, is at the U.S. Embassy in Johannesburg, right?
Well, I think she works there. I think
I
thought
she
it
does?
established that.
Okay.
However,
I don't remember that.
when he's on the phone with her at the beginning.
Yeah, which, by the way, was super silent. Did you know? I had to turn the volume way up, and I couldn't even find the subtitles because I was going to read the subtitles. It was like...
Oh, when he's walking to the car? Or what are you talking?
When he's walking. No, when he's walking to the car in the very beginning, and I'm trying to catch this, subtext and all this stuff. I'm sure there's some exposition here, and he's going.
Yeah.
And that's all I hear. I'm like, wait a minute, what are you doing? Yeah.
I was talking about when he's driving in the car.
Oh,
and he's like, "Just give me one more shot. Like, if I don't make it there in 20 minutes, you'll never have to see me again." And I'm like, "That's not how you talk to your wife."
Yeah,
like,
not usually.
That's kind of like contractually obligated.
Although your mom says that to me all the time. If you're not back home from the store in 20 minutes, it's over.
That's fair.
That's what.
That's fair.
That's fair. If you're not back from the grocery store.
Yeah.
Right.
But so this whole scene where she's dying and recording her final testimony, and I'm like, I don't know. I never really fell in love with his character. I never really thought his character was a good guy.
Right.
Like there's also this other part where he's like, "My dad used to laugh at me."
Cookie Man, right? Is that what we call it? Cookie Man.
Call me Cookie Boy.
Cookie Boy.
Because I crumble like a cookie. You kind of laugh like my dad. He's talking to the bad
guy. Somehow that's not a good Paul Walker.
No. That's like a Vin Diesel / Paul Walker / The Rock.
I think you mixed some different characters in there, but I'm Cookie Boy.
That's fair. I never really fell in love with the character.
I agree. I didn't either. I found very little empathy for him, and I couldn't. That character was not relatable to me. So in a lot of ways, that was to me that was a big problem. So
the next thing I have written here is police helicopter at street level ?
Yes.
There's an intersection where there's a police helicopter like 15 feet off the ground.
Yes.
And I'm like, for what reason would they ever do that? And it's like in a four-way intersection like in skyscrapers.
Yes.
Like it's
all
not
the way around.
It's not a country road.
It doesn't make any sense. First of all, it did make sense they had helicopters.
It looked CGI.
It does look CGI.
It looked
so, yeah.
some type of after effect.
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
Yeah. So, it did look like that. And, yeah, it was very, and honestly, and this is going to sound terrible.
Oh, jeez. He's losing it.
No,
I think these snacks we had at the pre-show are fighting back because I just randomly coughed too.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe they're affecting our. I don't know. Whatever. So, what I found. What I found uninteresting was, I didn't like the chase scenes and the action scenes.
Yeah,
were boring to me. I really found them boring. And when he's being chased, like in the very beginning, and the DA is in the car, I don't know her name. The DA is in the car, and there's the bad guys are chasing them with blacked out windows, and they've got the two cars, and they're in some crazy, I don't know where they are. The one car flips over and bursts into flames for like no reason.
Yeah.
I literally paused and went back to see how that car could have become airborne. And what happens is you actually see it flip, and then it looks like a cable pulled it away. Like it literally like it was pulled away by exactly right, legitimately as part of the effect. Or because that's what they do. They rig cars up with those things to make it look like the explosion tossed it away. That was before the explosion. Like it was in flames, and then it got pulled away with a cable, and then it blew up, and it was like, okay, that totally didn't make any sense.
Yeah. No, I agree with you there. And to your point, another factual issue was that so halfway, probably towards the end of the movie, he gets the van painted.
Yes.
Because all the cops are after him.
Right.
And he basically pays these random thugs to spray paint it.
They did do some foreshadowing because as he was driving through the city, which he didn't know, which I get that, there were some thugs spray painting a wall.
Yeah.
And actually doing a great job.
Yeah, and it shows a bunch of painted cars, too.
Yeah, right.
They have, like, decent, spray paint jobs on them. They look cool, and they have cool designs.
I think that's what he did is he went back to those guys and said, hey, I need you to...
Yeah, but, like, obviously it didn't work. They rattle canned it red, the van, which, by the way, I'll get to in a second. But in some of the reflections in the final chase scene, the van is silver again.
Is it?
Yeah. And as we talked about, in the ending scene... it's silver again. So they somehow got
exactly,
all of the spray paint off of the car.
Which is pretty amazing.
And they replaced the windshield and bumper, and he got T-boned.
Those guys are the Earl Scheib of Johannesburg. They'll pay any car for $99.99.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, I thought it was funny that in some of the reflections, the car is still silver.
That's funny. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And then my last note here before my big note was right back to being a rental car, and then I put in all caps typical. Like, just because I think that was kind of a cool ending.
Yeah.
Was this slow pan up and you see the guy cleaning the blood stain off and then putting the little hang tag in the rearview mirror and you're like, oh, this car is just back to being part of this. All the rental cars were either silver or tan, so it's like this beige mundane fleet, and it's a slow pan out that van was indistinguishable from every other car. I thought that was kind of cool and artistic.
It is a slow zoom out, but one thing I noticed, did you notice that there was no way for that vehicle to move?
Oh, yeah, because it was blocked in.
It was blocked in on the back and the front and the sides. There was no way to get that vehicle out. You had to move another car to get to that vehicle.
Which is annoying, but that's pretty typical for, like, rental lots and stuff.
Yeah, I know, but still, it was like, I don't know if they meant to do that. Like, oh, this car is now blocked in and all things in life and whatever. I don't know. Or maybe it just
also, why
happened.
would he be freshly cleaning it?
Yeah.
I think there actually was space for it to back out. I thought so.
No.
Maybe not.
Because I looked at that and I actually paused it.
Okay.
And I went and I looked. If you went backwards, there was two cars on each side, and there was room to back up a little bit, but you'd go right into another car. There was no way to turn around or anything. So that annoyed me.
So my final thought, and the reason I liked this movie, was that the entire movie is shot from the inside of the van.
Yeah.
There are no shots of the outside of the van or from any other perspective than inside the van until the very end.
Until the very end.
At the very end, there's that pan up of the rental car, but that's it.
Yeah.
There's no outside view of the van.
Yeah.
Everything is filmed from within the what, 5, 6 windows.
Through the front windshield.
Through the front windshield, yeah, and through the back windshield.
But you see Paul Walker in almost every single shot.
Yes.
If you're a Paul Walker fan,
yeah,
this is like your dream because you see him in almost absolutely every single shot. And you're right.
Yeah.
Everything is from the inside. You don't have any clue, really, what the van looks like or what kind of vehicle it is.
I honestly thought that was a really cool way to do it.
It is. I give him props for that. Yeah, definitely.
The camera itself never left the inside of the van. Even when the cops were chasing, it's a shot from inside the van facing outward, but you see there's still smudges on the glass. It's not like this perfect shot.
Yeah, right.
And so it made me feel like part of the action, and I've really started to love these older now, but like mid-2000s one-location thrillers. Yeah. What immediately came to mind, have you ever seen Phone Booth with Colin Farrell?
I've not seen it, but I know of it.
Very good movie. Yeah. I think that it's a really good movie, and it's so much suspense for taking place literally in one phone booth.
Really?
I mean, the whole movie takes place in a phone booth.
Wow, that's a pretty confined place.
They show the outsides, and it's not as tight as this movie, where this movie's just from the inside of the minivan. There's crane shots and all this stuff, and he leaves the phone booth, but he doesn't ever go more than 15 feet away from it, and then he's right back in the phone booth, and all this stuff happens. There's other movies like it. Where I like these
Rear
old
Window's
thrillers.
Actually one. Rear Window
1954? Is it? It's a Hitchcock movie.
Yeah,
really good movie,
yeah,
except for the animation where he jumps out of the window. Which it's like claymation for a human. It's weird.
It's like a Bugs Bunny cartoon.
But Rear Window's a very good movie.
Yeah, it is, and it's obviously a classic Hitchcock movie, but all really mostly taking place in this guy's apartment, looking out at.
He's a photographer that broke his legs.
Right.
And so he's wheelchair bound and he can't leave his apartment, and he starts to notice his neighbors doing some weird things, and finds out that his neighbor killed his wife because he stopped seeing the wife, and then he sees the guy leaving with trash bags and
exactly.
all this stuff.
So a lot of spoiler alerts for
for spoiler alerts for other movies.
1950s movies.
I don't know. I like these sort of single location because you start to grow and develop with this location as well.
Yeah, you do.
Start to feel like you're really there.
You do. I agree. I
can't think of the name of it, but there's a movie on a train. I can't think of it, but it's like the whole movie's it's like a train disaster movie.
Okay.
Not Snowpiercer, which I'm sure a lot of people are yelling at their cassettes.
Yeah, plus there's a bunch of ones that are on trains, but yeah.
Yeah. What is it? Something Code.
Well, Silver Streak was on that's an old movie, but Silver Streak was all on a train.
Something Code, where this guy. Never mind. It just Source Code. Source Code. Jeez.
Source Code. Gotcha.
I don't know. I like these sort of thrillers where it's just one location.
Yeah.
I think it's a very artful way to film it. I think it's a very budget friendly way to film it.
Big time.
And I think it leaves. I don't know. It really makes you feel a part of a set where, like these movies, like the Avengers, for instance.
Yeah.
They go to 8 different planets in the same movie.
It happens.
Then you don't have that much time to really capture the ambiance of this location because they're on to the next one.
Right.
This one, you do start to feel, you could almost feel those clingy early 2000s plastics inside of this minivan.
That is true. I'll give you that. It is true.
So I don't know. That's why I like this movie, is that it was low budget, and we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
But it was done in a cool and interesting way.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, I just kept thinking, how are they going to pull this off?
Yeah.
And it was a really cool way to film it.
And I'll give you that for this, and for this movie, I'll give it props in the fact that it's really an interesting way to do it. It was a good cinematic technique to do it all from the inside, where you felt claustrophobic almost in the fact of all the stuff happening inside the vehicle. And it's funny too that you mentioned that, because I was thinking, well, what kind of vehicle is this? Because you don't see the outside. You never.
I had to look it up.
Did you? Okay.
Well,
so
I looked it up. I would have been able to tell by the very end, but the very end is the only time you see the outside of the car.
Yes, that is true.
So it's very, very interesting.
Yeah. And when they reveal at the end, it's Christine.
That would have been hilarious. They pan,
and the lights going wow like
they
that.
pan out, and on the hood it just says George Barris. You see him running through the rental car lot. He's signing the Toyota Yaris, and
you just see
the van is parked next to a Chevy Aveo.
Okay,
Chevy.
Is it really?
Yeah,
okay.
I reviewed a Chevy Aveo.
All right,
little
okay.
Econo box,
Oh,
little piece of garbage.
All right.
Also, so let's talk about the van since we're talking about it.
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
So it is a 2001 Chrysler Voyager.
Oh, it is. It's a Voyager.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So Chrysler, it was also sold here as the Plymouth Voyager.
Gotcha.
Around the world, a lot of auto manufacturers will do that.
I thought it was a Plymouth Voyager. Yeah.
Plymouth wasn't sold in as many countries as Chrysler.
Yeah.
But they still sold the cars in other countries, so they just called it a Chrysler. Same thing with here. You could get a Dodge Neon or you could get a Plymouth Neon.
Oh yeah. Right.
Same
okay.
thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what engine it had because it is a global market Chrysler Voyager.
Oh, okay.
So they came with between a 2.4 liter, 3 liter V6, 3.3 liter V6, 3.8 liter V6, a 2.5 liter turbo diesel, or a 2.8 liter turbo diesel.
I'm sure it had all of those.
Yeah, it had. Yeah, it was an 18. It was the Mammoth van. It was red like the Mammoth car. Yeah. Shout out to Speed Racer.
Yeah.
But I thought, I thought it being a van gave them a lot more interior space to work with.
It did.
I don't think this could have worked with a sedan because he does use those sliding doors as a sort of shield at one point.
Yes, exactly.
And so this is a car movie with a car in it that you wouldn't think is that important to the casting, but actually making it a minivan as opposed to a big sedan, as opposed to a hatchback, was actually pretty important. And they casted it really well.
They did.
Mundane, boring. You know, the movie is named after Vehicle 19 because this was the car he rents is Vehicle 19.
Yeah. Do you ever see that number anywhere? Do you ever see it?
So
you do?
When he turns the car on,
Yeah.
it says on the little key tag, it just says Vehicle 19.
Oh, okay.
Hertz rental car.
Yeah, okay.
Which, again, I don't know why they went through the trouble of... Oh, does Hertz even know? Because here's the thing. At the end, like we said, there's a worker scrubbing the blood off of the seat, and then he puts a seat cover over the bloody seat, and he puts the hang tag that it's ready to rent, and you see a pan out of the van, and it just goes back into the fleet.
Well, and he grabs the sign on top, which says Hertz very plainly.
Which is like, that's a terrible advertisement for Hertz.
It absolutely is.
I wouldn't want to rent a car and possibly have a gun and a cell phone and a woman in the trunk.
Yeah. Well, next time I go to Hertz, I'm going to ask them, is there a gun and a cell phone and a woman in the car? I just want to know this.
Well, that's like, if you've ever seen Pee Wee Herman. Where he has his bike in the basement of the Alamo.
Yes, right.
So we went to the Alamo 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And one of my friends asked, he was like, "What's in the basement?"
Yeah.
And the security guard must have been 85 years old.
Yeah.
He's like, "There's nothing but an old bicycle down there." So we're like, "Oh, he's obvious. He probably gets this all the time."
Right,
like,
exactly.
I guarantee you would catch any 17-year-old working the desk of a Hertz rental car off guard by saying, "Is there a gun and a woman in the trunk?"
Yes. Yeah.
He'd probably be like,
excuse me, sir. Let me check the papers, sir. Yeah, let me check those.
Or since most Hertz rent-a-cars are in airports, you would get put on a no-fly list for saying
kidding.
handgun and woman in the trunk.
Exactly.
In any airport.
Yeah, that is true. That is, you can't ask that. So please don't.
Please do not.
Please don't do that.
That all being said, I know we're kind of ripping through here decently quick.
Yeah, we are. We are. We're going.
I liked it. The other car I want to mention was a lot of the cop cars were 3 Series BMWs, E36s.
Yeah, right. Yes, I didn't notice they were BMWs.
Which is interesting because the E36 ended, I want to say 99 was the last year.
Are there a lot of cop cars around the world that are BMWs?
Yeah, I mean, in Europe and stuff, it's pretty common. You'll get a lot of Mercedes cop cars, too. Because Mercedes over in Germany, they go way lower than they do here.
Oh, they do?
Like, here, it's strictly luxury.
Yeah.
You can get, like, a Mercedes, like...
Mercedes or BMW?
Both Mercedes and BMW.
Okay, yeah.
You can get, like, a 200 diesel which is like a 2-liter diesel non-turbo, slowest thing in the world.
Yeah.
From those manufacturers, and it's a lot more common or normal of cars, I guess. I remember when I was in Austria, a lot of the taxi cabs were Mercedes, and they weren't like these Mercedes S classes with massage seats. It was like a C200, which is like a 2-liter little car. So
yeah, I get you.
Yeah, but I wasn't really jarred at the fact that the cop cars were E36s or BMWs, to be fair.
Yeah,
but they were such outdated. BMWs.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Because we're talking about late 90s here, and this was made in 2011.
Yeah,
It released in 2013.
It's
but
more realistic than
I guess it's
Fast
fair.
5, which we just I just listened to today.
Okay.
Which was what I think they had
Dodge Chargers.
Dodge Chargers, which they never had.
Yeah.
In the actual police department, they just sent them there for the movie.
So I love the E36. Those BMWs are great.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, if they're police cars, they probably have the 4-cylinder.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I would assume.
Okay,
I mean,
like,
I
guess.
because a lot of European police cars are like 1.4-liter diesels. Like,
are they really?
Yeah, they're like Astra diesels or Opals.
Okay. All right.
And it's just these little fleet vehicles, like basically like Fiestas here.
Wow. Okay. Well, I guess.
Because they don't really have highways that are as long and flat and straight as us.
True. Yeah.
So when people run, they're not going that fast. Here, anyway. I mean, here you can buy a Hellcat and do 200 down an expressway.
Yeah.
But so in terms of cars, really, you just get the Chrysler Voyager and some cop cars. I did see a Nissan Micra in the background, which isn't sold here in the U.S. And I would really like to review one.
All right.
It's just a little tiny Nissan that is like $10,000 brand new. But I did see one of those, and I was like, oh, man, I really want to drive one.
Yeah.
But not a very car... I mean, obviously car heavy because the whole thing takes place in a car.
The whole thing is in a car, yes.
But if you're... I saw an IMDb review, and they're like, it's a very good car movie, but it's not the traditional, like, hot rod, chrome, girls.
Right, yeah.
It's not very Fast and Furious for having the Fast and Furious star. And I thought that was interesting, too, is that this was made the same year as Fast 5, as we were talking about. So this is like peak Paul Walker, in my opinion. This is like Paul Walker probably didn't need the money for this.
No, but he was one of the executive producers.
Oh, I did not see that.
He was one of the executive producers.
I did see a lot of repeats of names in the credits, though. Yeah. I don't know if you caught that.
No, I didn't.
It was like 2 or 3 of the same guy for like different roles. And I was like, oh, cool.
All right, yeah. Well, and and it did to me like it looked like it was shot on a cell phone. It looked like a couple GoPros and a cell phone, and that was it. Yeah, to me it looked like it was
okay.
And in post, they actually cranked up the contrast.
Yeah,
way high. So everything was kind of very charcoalish looking, kind of like rough. It was a very like rough, and to me, I just got really bored with it.
And the camera quality didn't really affect me. I didn't really notice that.
To me, it just seemed like it was okay, but it wasn't anything.
Yeah,
there wasn't.
Hey, you know what? At least this movie was color graded.
Yeah, true.
I mean, that's a step up from what we've been talking about.
That is true, absolutely, and it was definitely, and it was, it was, and I think it was done obviously to make it more gritty,
right?
To make it more realistic, to make it look like he's actually in Johannesburg, but like one of the things that he's stuck in traffic. And he's trying to eat that, like we were eating those snacks. He was trying to eat one of the snacks, and it fell on the floor, and he went down to get it off the floor, and that's when he finds the handgun underneath the seat, right? And he's trying to figure out what's going on because he's an ex-con or whatever. He's
they don't really
get into that,
right? Yeah.
Right. Well, they do. They say it was a hit and run, and I guess he hit a pedestrian and killed him.
Oh, okay.
And he said it wasn't my fault. It was an accident.
Apparently,
blah, blah.
nothing is this guy's fault.
No, I know.
Talk about taking no responsibility.
No, the other thing that I've learned about Johannesburg is that everyone will walk in front of your car without even a hesitation.
Yeah.
Kids will walk in front of your car. Old people walk in front of your car. Any person. I mean, literally, like every shot that they had in the city, people were walking directly in front of the car.
Yeah.
It was very annoying.
It might be. I mean, that might be South African.
Yes,
culture.
that might be
I
exactly
know
how
that,
it is.
Like
yes.
at least in Haiti, that is the culture. Is that you're supposed to stay on the right when you're driving, but if you drive on the left side of the road, it's fine.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right,
We took a school bus on the left side of the road when they're a right-hand drive or right side of the road country.
Really?
We drove into oncoming traffic in a school bus. And by
Oh
we,
my
I mean I was
gosh.
sitting at the back, and I'm like, I hope Ellie knows what he's doing. 'Cause
Yeah, okay.
He's dumping gears in this manual Detroit diesel full-size school bus.
Wow.
Driving at
full-size school bus?
Yeah, manual full-size school bus that we took through a river. Yeah,
Manual. Wow.
I was looking through my Haiti pictures the other day, and I have a picture in front of that school bus, and I have just a picture of the gear shifter.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
oh,
I do have
wow.
a
You
picture
actually
of
have
it,
the picture
yeah.
of this gear? Yeah.
But yeah, it's because there was a military parade in the road, and this is a true story. I was in Haiti.
yeah.
I don't know if I ever told you this, and there was a huge military parade, and they had like Jeeps, Humvees, assault rifles, Toyota pickup trucks with guys in the back with machine guns.
Yeah.
And they're taking up this whole lane of the road because Haiti was trying to, or the people of Haiti were trying to raise awareness or march so that they would have their own military, because Haiti doesn't have their own military.
Okay.
They just work off the UN. So the UN sends soldiers, and you
Gotcha.
see pickup trucks that say UN with guys with assault rifles in the back, and you just, go about your day.
Yeah.
But they were having this huge protest in the road. So our bus driver was like, whatever. So goes into the oncoming lane to go around this protest. And like, there's just cars flying on either side of us. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I hope I know what this guy's doing.
Yep.
Also, same thing. Another Haiti story is we got in one morning. We were going up to the school we were working at, and we get in the bus, and Haiti is all hills. And we get in, and you know how driving a manual car goes. Driving a manual school bus.
Yeah, I'm sure it's...
Clutches in, first gear, rolls back, nails the car behind us. Little Suzuki, right? I mean, here's the thing. Everyone in Haiti has brush guards on all of their vehicles. Whether it's a little Daihatsu or a big pickup truck, they have the front bull bars on the front.
Really?
So he got out, looked at it, got back in. We went to the school.
Wow.
I mean, that's just the culture.
Yeah,
is that
it's
like
true.
there isn't really insurance there. It's like if you drive a car in Haiti, you just fully know that risk. I don't know. I assume insurance exists.
Yeah.
But it's not really one of those things. You know what I mean?
He didn't leave a note on their windshield?
No. He's like... Because like
No
I guess
one
the
leaves a
car
note
wasn't
on
really
windshield.
damaged or whatever, and every single car has bull bars on the front and back. Like it's just like one of those expected
Wow, it's like
things.
bumper cars.
Basically.
Wow.
I mean, if you've ever gone down side streets in Chicago or whatnot, you'll see cars with little extra added bumpers or...
well, you need them in Chicago.
Yeah, well, or... I remember when I went to New York, for the first time I'd ever seen, it was like these mats that you would stick in your trunk, and then they would overhang your rear bumper, and it was like a thick rubber mat.
Really?
And basically just protected your rear bumper. You would just like slam it closed in the trunk, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like,
I totally get that. I've actually accidentally done that with our Pacifica, closing something in the trunk. But that's really
it's like a
weird
common thing in New York,
Really?
Interesting,
okay. It's very, very interesting, yes.
So getting back to the point,
yes,
that could have just been a Johannesburg thing.
Yeah,
that might be.
Yeah, it could
But
be.
they also Mexicoify Johannesburg.
Yeah.
And what I mean is that the whole skyline everywhere is yellow. There's a meme that goes around where it's like Mexico in real life versus Mexico in movies, and it's the same picture, but the Mexico in movies, it's all tinted dark yellow.
Okay.
Because that's what every filmmaker does. When you go to think of like Breaking Bad and stuff, whenever they go to Mexico, everything is like this like sundown burnt yellow orange color palette. When like in all reality, Mexico's the same.
Yeah, but how did they even come about? Like who decided? What movie maker went? I'm going to make this guy yellow, and from now on, every time Mexico is shown, it has a yellow sky.
It's probably just one of those things that like honestly was probably came out in like the 70s.
Yeah,
some guy did it in a movie to show that Mexico's this foreign, different place.
I guess.
When in all reality, we share a land border. Like it's not that different. You
Right.
know,
Yes,
in
exactly,
terms of the sky and colors. Colors aren't different in Mexico. I don't know if you know this. I haven't been personally, but I've been told that colors still function the same.
Yeah, I think the light spectrum is still
and it upsets a lot of Mexicans because
I'm
Mexico
sure.
is always portrayed as a yellow country.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
where everything is, you know, burnt and all this stuff. So
Yeah,
they
very
did that
true.
in this
Yeah,
movie.
they did.
They I guess colorized or
Well, they
color corrected.
and they did I mean, again, the contrast was
Yeah.
way up.
Yeah.
Like everything, it was almost like, you know, Paul Walker was like a charcoal drawing. I mean, that's kind of what it was like. I mean, the contrast was super high.
It's also just kind of a trait of the 2000s. This felt like if this came out in 2005,
Yeah.
I feel like that would have been right at home. 2013 was
All right.
kind of old for this kind of movie.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And do you ever remember the video game Need for Speed Most Wanted?
A little, yeah.
Like for PlayStation. It had the BMW on the front and
Right.
stuff.
Okay.
I recently watched a deep dive video on that game.
Yeah.
And that game, it takes place in Los Angeles. Everything is yellow.
No.
And, like, literally, there's a whole
Wow.
era of games where, like, in order to make it look action-y and high suspense, the whole color palette, the sky is yellow, the darkest blacks are actually like a tint of yellow. You know what I mean?
Really?
And
Okay,
so
well,
the guy
okay.
did a deep dive on this game, and he actually color corrected the game to be normal sky, normal colors.
Yeah.
In post editing, and he was like, "This game had beautiful color palettes.
Yeah.
I mean, the cars really pop. The trees look
Yeah.
great. If they didn't add this stupid yellow filter, and I feel
Yeah,
that
it's
way
crazy.
about this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like it would have popped more if they didn't crush it with this yellow filter.
Yeah, maybe that was what threw me off so much and made me not like this movie was psychologically that yellow filter, that yellowish tint to the things. And again, there was like not, except for maybe the district attorney, there was not like one person that was helpful or friendly or positive or anything. It was like
I
no
really didn't
one.
care about the characters. And then
No,
when he
I didn't.
sees his wife, I couldn't care less.
Oh no!
If she got
I think-
gunned down, I would have been like, all right.
I don't look at that.
Yeah, that
It's
is
doing
true.
it-
Is that I didn't
Yeah.
really fall in love with any of the characters. It was slightly redeeming at the end. He got the lady's message out through the microphone.
Well, so that was weird too. I wanted to talk about that.
Okay.
So that whole thing at the very end, he's bringing. So he's coming back to. He's
going to the courthouse.
Yeah, my headphones.
Your headphones just turn off?
Something's wrong with my headphones. They're getting real fuzzy for some reason. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Weird.
So he's heading back to the courthouse. He's going to the courthouse because he's got to find a certain judge so he can give the information.
Before
to
the
a
lady
judge.
died, she
Yep.
said, only trust this one judge.
Right, exactly.
Deliver this message to the judge.
Yeah.
And she gives the message into his flip phone, which this is 2011. People had iPhones, but I guess
Right.
Paul Walker's still in the
Flip
Stone
phone.
Age.
Yeah.
Flip phone. And
Yeah.
so go on.
So anyway, so he gets to the courthouse, and of course, all the cops are there, and all the barriers are up because the police chief has basically said, you know, I've got all of this manpower behind me, and you're in a country you don't even know, and I have the advantage. And basically, Paul Walker essentially says, I have nothing to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is always it's a trope, but it's a very true thing. Is the most dangerous person in the world is a person with nothing to lose.
Right.
Because they can do anything and will do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that is when a lot of times when the bad guy goes, oh, because someone is going to come after him.
Right.
And yeah, it's going to be bad. So he's racing to the steps. That's where the helicopter comes in.
Yeah, it's
all
like
this stuff.
It's like head level at this courthouse. Like no one
Yeah.
would fly a helicopter
Right.
nearly that low.
No,
but
exactly.
Go on.
So then he breaks through all the barriers, which, by the way, those are like concrete barriers in front of the. I don't know how he gets through the barriers in front of in front of the courthouse. As I remember them, they look like the concrete barriers. Maybe they were plastic.
Were they
barriers.
the colorful ones?
Yes, they were.
I think those are filled with water.
Okay, well,
which
whatever.
Are like weigh as much as concrete.
Yes,
but
exactly. So Okay,
Just
so
for
you
our
got
barrier experts out there, they're like, it wouldn't be concrete. They wouldn't do that. All right, Steve. They bring him out and then they pop a hydrant and fill
So
him
now
all.
some listener out there named Steve, who actually is a concrete barrier expert, is going, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I don't
He's
sound
pulling
like
over
that.
his Toyota Tacoma from 2004. He's like, wait a second.
Wait a second. That's not how my voice sounds. It's family.
Yeah.
So, so anyway, he gets to the front steps. Now, at the same time, for whatever reason, there is a news van outside.
Oh yeah, did it explain?
They did not
Okay,
explain the news van. So there is a very, very white newscaster who is doing his news show. He's got there's a cameraman, I think, but he's got his microphone for the news, right? And so what happens is Paul Walker is surrounded by cops, so he just barrels into the front steps, basically, of the courthouse, sees the guy with the microphone for the news station, grabs him, pulls him into the minivan, puts a gun to his head, and the cop, the police chief, comes out, who's the bad guy, right? Comes out and he's like, I'm going to shoot him. And then there's another guy who's a cop or a security guard or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Who kind of does the right thing.
Yeah, he
right?
does the right thing. He's like the only one in the entire movie that does the right thing, where he goes, hey, that's not proper protocol. You just can't shoot a guy. You just can't shoot someone unless he's pointing the gun at you.
Also, the detective there, when he goes, I'm Detective Smith, I was like, really?
Yeah, I know, exactly.
All the names?
Yes, exactly. Smith, right.
That was thought of on the day. Go on.
Exactly. So anyway, he pulls the news reporter into the van, and he's got the gun to his head and says, I'm going to shoot this guy if you don't get me the judge so-and-so. And they're like, no, we can't do that, and blah, 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 or they were just making up stuff or whatever. And then what happens is Paul Walker says to the news guy, he goes, is that thing on? The microphone. He's pointing at the microphone.
Yeah.
Does that thing work? Is that on? And he starts playing the DA's testimony into the microphone. Okay, but we don't know if they're recording this. Is this live? We don't know if it's going to anyone. He could just be playing it for a dead microphone, basically.
Yeah, and there's not much resolution because after he plays that into the microphone, it cuts to the Hertz Rent-A-Car guy cleaning the stain, and the radio's on. And it's like... Yeah. The radio kind of ties things up where he's like Michael Woods is recovering well, and they're investigating.
And the president said he's a true hero, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, and then it's just Rent-A-Car, and then that's it. That's literally the whole end. You don't see the guy. You don't see Paul Walker get back with his wife.
To me,
you don't see a burial of the girl.
No. Very unsatisfying ending for me, and that was one thing too that I didn't like about the movie.
Character-wise, unsatisfying. I thought that ending shot was really satisfying. I actually really liked that ending shot.
It was cool,
of like this car just going, like almost as to say, like the day in the life of a rental car.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like if Lightning McQueen.
Oh, there we go.
If you use that laugh track on me one more time, I swear to God, I'm leaving.
I've done it once.
I know, and it was one too many times.
Oh my gosh! All right,
no
fine.
laugh track. You could use.
Fine. Okay, there.
You can use laugh tracks on your own jokes.
Okay,
but
fine.
I better be done speaking before you use it.
Okay.
I really like that ending shot.
All right.
I don't know. So we're kind of wrapping up here because there's not much trivia to go through.
No, there's not much to go through.
The last thing I wanted to say was, can you guess the budget?
Oh, the budget, $14. I didn't think there was much. I would say, let me guess for real, I would say like 10 million?
5.
5 million? Okay.
5 million.
All right,
and it grossed.
That's really low. 5 million is really low.
Yeah. It grossed 1.4 million.
Really?
Yeah, so they took a bath.
Yeah, they did. Well,
they took over $3.5 million bath.
Yeah, but is that worldwide? That
was worldwide?
Oh wow. Yeah. Sorry. Wow.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. You can throw a laugh track in there.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay.
Hold on. Shh.
What?
That was worldwide. There you go. How long does it go?
Oh, that just goes on.
Jesus.
We could just have that go on.
My God. That's horrible.
It was really funny. That was a very funny.
Thanks.
Our entire audience was just like their sides hurt because it was so funny. Anyway.
It's good for us to tell our audience when to laugh. It's very important that we do that because they're driving their little Kia Fortes. They don't know when to laugh.
We
They're
don't have a
sitting
sign.
Here,
we
they're
don't have a
sitting here,
sign.
Zach, Gary, when do I get to laugh? Well, now we get to tell them. When you hear the pre-recorded laugh track from 1994, now you can laugh.
Now you can laugh.
Now you can
We're
laugh.
giving you
Actually,
it's the applause and the laughter sign. It's the laughter sign in the audience for the studio audience
there you
that
go.
you don't get to see.
Actually, one of the best things I did in college, I totally forgot about this, was we had to do like a student news program in communication school.
Oh, yeah.
And we were editing something together, and I was like, you know what? We have the whole class here. And I got the whole class together.
Yeah.
And I was like, everyone shut up. Everyone shut up. Everyone shut up. And the professor was in on this. And I was like, I just had a shotgun mic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I had him do an ooh. I had him do an ah. I had him do applause. I had him do a laugh.
Awesome.
So I have, for myself.
You do really? Oh, my gosh.
I have laugh tracks and ooh tracks of legitimately all my classmates from college.
That's cool.
That I own because I took it.
Yeah.
So like.
That's totally cool. And it's fresh. It's like nobody else has exactly that one. It's not this.
Yeah, and I know iMovie has their own. Oh, Jesus. iMovie. I will be ripping out that button after this. iMovie has their own. I know. Windows Movie Maker has their own laugh track. I'm sure.
No, I know.
You've heard
Everybody
it in every
has.
single
Yeah,
one.
it's like the Wilhelm scream or whatever.
Yeah, so that's one of the best.
All right,
or
that's cool though.
The truck honking as it passes.
Oh
has
yes,
been in every single movie. The Doppler effect.
Doppler, yeah.
So
okay,
that's my thoughts on Vehicle 19. I know it's a little bit shorter, but we don't have any trivia.
No, there's not.
And it was only an hour and 20 minutes.
Maybe, yeah.
Ish.
I don't know because I fell asleep twice during the whole
for you
movie.
it was like 8 hours.
It was,
Yeah.
and it also I dreamed parts of it. They're actually
you have a. It's not the director's cut. It's the dream cut.
dream. If I could give that to someone, if I
Yeah.
could give that one away, that would have been hilarious. That would have been awesome.
The dream cut. Yeah.
The dream cut would have been the best because he does go into there's like a dark, dusty, like a store, and he walks into the store, and they want to show him the weight equipment. It's like the workout room in the back that has weights and stuff.
Oh, this is part of your dream.
Okay.
Okay, go on.
And there's all like these old weights, like they're
Yeah.
old, like in like 50s, like
Yeah.
and machines and stuff from like the 50s, and they're like, yeah, this is the best we got, and that was it. That was like the end of the dream.
But
and
it's
then I
still
woke up-
shot from inside the van, so it's just like awkwardly long, far distances away.
Somehow shot, inside the van. Yeah.
So when we raffle off our version of the DVD, we're gonna add in those scenes. They're just gonna
Somehow.
be storyboards and or
right.
repurposed Fast and Furious footage.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just gonna
Yeah, we're
splice
gonna-
it in
We're gonna
randomly.
put together our own.
So you'll be the only owner
Right.
of the
Vehicle 19.
Vehicle 19 Gary Pradle Dream.
Extended dream cut.
Yeah, extended dream cut. Or Dreamer's cut if we want to stick with director's cut.
Yeah.
So we'll raffle that off.
That was a very bizarre thing for me. Yeah.
Would you change the channel?
So here's the thing. Here's what I want to tell you.
Interesting.
If
Yeah.
if it was a choice between Rush and this movie, okay,
Yeah.
it would be a very difficult decision for me on which one to watch.
That's how low it is for you.
That's how low it is for me.
Interesting.
Very, very low. Like I would definitely not watch it. If it was on, I would definitely not watch it. I dreamt half of it.
I know.
So,
And
but I wouldn't watch
it.
it again.
Sounds like your dreamt parts were more interesting.
Well, they were outside of the van, but
that's true.
But no, it
It's
was
funny
really-
that your brain didn't recognize that it was inside van only.
Right. Yes,
Interesting.
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that
Your
now
brain doesn't care about continuity. That sucks.
I have a very sucky brain. But anyway,
It's not sucky. It just doesn't care about continuity.
doesn't care.
Was he wearing the same clothes, or was he now wearing like
no,
a
it was the same character,
bright
same
green
no,
Sprite
no.
jacket?
It
You're
was
like,
the
what the heck?
same. No, it was the same contrasty filter. It was the
Wow,
same.
okay.
Everything was. It looked the same because it was one of those instant dreams. And then
Yeah.
I woke up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was dreaming that I better stop the film, go back and actually watch it. So I had to go back and watch it a couple times. So in all fairness, it wasn't like a congruous movie, but I actually was really, really tired, first of all, when I was watching it. And secondly, I wasn't that involved in the movie. It really was something where I was just, my eyes grew heavy and blah, blah, blah. So would I watch it? No. If it was on, I would change the channel. And again, if it was between Rush and this movie, I would be like, I'm not sure which one I want to watch. Yeah. Because for those people who know, Rush is a movie that I don't.
Another movie we disagree on, though.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely, yeah. And maybe someday we'll go back and
maybe, yeah. 100 episodes or something.
So
I'll give you 50 episode.
Wow. Okay.
Or 55 episode buffer.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So I would not watch it. You would watch it?
I would not.
You would
here's
not.
the thing.
You would not.
Right.
Okay.
Chill. Jeez. I wouldn't. I would probably change the channel. However, this does seem like one of those movies when you're. I don't know if you ever experienced this, but when I was homesick in elementary school, I would go to Stars or like AMC would run movies during the day back before it was just the Walking Dead channel.
Yeah, that's right. That is so true. Yeah.
Or you would just, or even Comedy Central would run movies during the day.
Yep.
But it was all commercial breaks and stuff.
Yeah.
And it seems like one of those movies where like, have you ever heard of the movie Vantage Point?
Yes, I have.
So it's where the president gets assassinated.
Yeah, and then they show
it from everyone's vantage point. So you see the same explosion like 8 times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it feels like that movie because that's in a certain space.
Yeah, right.
One building. That whole movie takes place until the end chase scene.
Yeah.
But that movie I had seen 15 times.
Okay.
Because I would catch bits and glimpses of it on TV. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those movies where you can kind of jump in and be like, okay, there's some action.
Yeah.
And I remember Mom would always bring me McChickens when I was sick.
Really?
That was like because she would get me lunch when she would come home. And that was what I always requested.
Really?
Yeah.
A McChicken?
Yeah. So up until like recently, anytime I would have a McChicken, I would just think of like being homesick.
Wow. Yeah. I totally understand that. There are certain things for me too.
Just comfort food and stuff.
Exactly.
But this definitely seems like a movie that I would just kind of catch on TV while home alone, or like, and I'd be laying on the couch and kind of drifting in and out of sleep. I just miss that weird feeling of being homesick.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because like, everyone else is at school and you're trying to imagine what your day was going to be, and you're laying on the couch at 11 a.m. and you're like, I'd be in math class right now.
Yeah, but you're also in kind of la-la land because when you're sleeping or you're sick or you've got like heavy doses of NyQuil or whatever you're doing, you're kind of in this weird, dreamy, odd state.
Also, I found out that this is a Midwestern staple of using the popcorn bowl as also the puke bowl.
Really?
That's like a Midwestern thing. Like,
I didn't know that.
I found this out on TikTok. It was like someone TikToked and they were like, so did everyone use their popcorn bowl as the throw-up bowl as a kid? And I was like, oh my God, I did. It was a big light blue bowl with like the waves at the top.
Oh,
it wasn't like a hard
that's
top
right.
bowl.
Yeah.
And we would use it for family popcorn night. And also, if you were sick, you would have it next to you in case you had to throw up.
Exactly.
Which I don't think I ever threw up into the bowl.
You guys were actually, you and Nick were both good about not throwing up a lot.
Later in life, I've thrown up a lot.
Really?
Later in life, I've thrown up a lot in sinks too.
Really?
Yeah,
that's really awful.
I mostly throw up in sinks because I don't like sticking my head down towards the toilet when I'm like that sick.
Yeah.
And I got criticized very heavily for doing this.
Oh, I'm sure.
My friends will not let that go.
Yeah.
Because I was over at Alex's house and I threw up in his sink. I didn't make it to the toilet.
Yeah.
And that was a whole bad thing.
Yes.
So not to end on a gross note, but this definitely seems like one of those movies that's just on while you're homesick.
Yeah.
You're on NyQuil, you're fading in and out.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you wake, you're sweaty, you're cold.
Because that's pretty much what happened to me. I was laying on the couch here and watching the...
You had a fever, maybe.
And a fever dream and you know,
So that's Vehicle 19.
Okay, that's Vehicle 19.
You can find it, I think, on Amazon. I think
probably, or a Dollar Tree, maybe.
We also, I did pick up another Dollar Tree movie.
You did? Okay. Is this the next one?
No,
it's your choice for the next one.
But I did pick up another Dollar Tree movie we'll do down the road.
All right.
It seems horrible.
Good.
I mean, bad.
Excellent.
But are you ready for the next movie?
Okay, I'm ready for the next movie. What are we going to do?
I'm super excited about this. I've wanted to do this for a while. It is a documentary.
Oh, a documentary.
We don't do many documentaries.
No,
here.
we don't. You tend to do the documentaries. You tend to pick them.
Here's the thing, because I feel like I can also use them as research.
Okay. All right. That's true.
Reviewing cars and such. I haven't reviewed the car in this movie.
Shout out to Shooting Cars.
So it's called
Yeah.
Hands on a Hard Body.
What?
It's called Hands on a Hard Body.
Hands.
Do you want to know a little bit? Do you
Hard
want to
Body.
know like what I know it's about? I've never seen it.
You haven't. Okay.
I have not seen it.
All right.
It was recommended by a good friend, a big director,
Okay.
on a talk show.
All right.
And I won't say if he said it was great or bad.
Okay. All right.
But the quick little elevator pitch for the movie
Mm-hmm.
is that it was filmed in 1990.
In a world.
Called Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
It was filmed in 1997 in Austin, Texas.
Oh, okay.
And there was a Nissan dealership.
Shout out to Austin, Texas.
Shout out to Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
Great place.
Yeah.
I was just talking about it today with a friend.
And there's a Nissan dealer.
There's a Nissan dealership.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so they had a truck called the Nissan Hard Body.
Okay.
It was just a little Nissan, basically
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
So they ran a contest of the last person to take their hand off the hard body wins the truck.
Okay, yeah.
And so it was this cute little simple gimmick to give someone a truck.
Yeah.
And it ended up going a lot longer than they thought.
Really?
Because it was last person standing wins. And there was no rules other than that, from what I've heard.
Okay.
So the last person to take their hand off of the truck won the truck.
Yeah.
It's a brand new truck at the time.
Okay.
So that's what the documentary is about. It's called Hands on a Hard Body. It does sound like an adult film.
Yeah.
Or like it sounds like something you get at a hotel.
Yeah.
But it's a hard body pickup truck.
Okay.
And so the last person, and it walks through it. They talk to contestants.
Really?
So that's all I'm gonna say.
Where can we get it? Where can we find it?
I believe it's Apple TV Plus.
Okay,
it's an
which we have now.
$10. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay, it's
something like that.
All right. Well,
we will
figure it
find
out.
a way to find this movie.
Okay.
And when we do the episode next week, we'll tell you how we ended up watching it. I
Okay,
just
yeah,
read
definitely.
online that it's available on
All right,
Apple
we'll
Plus.
find it.
I
We'll
haven't
find it.
I haven't
We'll
done
find
any
it.
diving.
All
But
right.
Hands on a Hard Body is our next movie. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah.
Because I've heard many things about it. I think it's going to be an interesting piece of culture. So.
All right. Well, that's very cool, and it'll be fun to. I don't know. We'll watch it. I mean, it doesn't sound that exciting, but we'll see what it's like. Okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
thank you guys so much for listening.
Yep.
If you're listening on YouTube, check us out on Spotify and iTunes. If you're listening on Spotify or iTunes, check us out on YouTube.
Yep.
You get to see my handmade thumbnail drawings.
In crayon?
In crayon. Yeah, we're still in
crayon.
2022 is the year of the
20
crayon. 2021 was the year of the marker. I guess 2023 will be year of the colored pencil. Or
colored pencil would be fun. I think
Yeah.
that would be good.
maybe a little bit better,
Yeah,
maybe
okay.
a little bit easier. I'm not loving the crayons.
I know
gonna be honest.
I know you said that. You said that. So
not loving them. So
all right.
God bless.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time with Hands on a Hard Body.
All right. Bye-bye.